show.
And you know what? Welcome to it, y'all. Welcome to our 47th episode. It's Thursday, April 26, 2018. We're live and interactive here on Mixer. This guy to my right, you might recognize him because he's kind of famous. His name is Justin Robey. Justin is in for Ricari, who's apparently doing something with some runner. Doesn't matter. It's cool. No. We're without Ricari or my voice, but we do have Justin. Robey, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I am super excited to be here.
Repping the Team Liquid.
I'm repping the Team Liquid. Obviously, we'll talk about it a little later. They didn't do so good at CS:GO, but Dota's on the horizon. Dota's on the horizon.
You can see the forest through the trees.
I can.
And of course, yeah, we want to talk about, we're obviously FTL, which is faster than light, low latency differentiator. Anyway, it's interactivity. I'm having a day.
Wow, you really sold that.
Thanks, guys. I don't know if you notice how fancy these lights are behind us, but you should know that as the show goes on, interactivity, it's all up to you.
It could be crazy.
It's true.
Yeah. So the esport world is constantly changing and busier than ever. And since the show is for you, you get to decide what we talk about, cover, and hype. So how do we do that? Well, you simply check all those voting options you'll see below the video window. That's right. We may be up at the desk, but this is your show. We'll have trivia, more videos to highlight, more interviews with people in the scene, and much more. So be sure to get your section in if you want to hear the latest from your favorite esports.
It's true. But before we get into the games, it's time for our top segment of the week, which we're calling Breaking News.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Are you going to be okay? Oh, my God. Okay, so breaking news is where we bubble up esport news and stories that recently came out that we think are just too juicy to leave up to you to vote.
Too juicy. It's true.
We don't trust you. So
it's
this week, we have a pretty big one to break on the show today. I'm sure the audience knows these three letters really well. A, B, C. Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead. You do it.
ESL.
Oh my gosh.
It's true, Robey. This week's big news is being made with our newfound friends over at ESL, aka Electronic Sports League. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I can't.
Where for the next year, 365 days, you'll be able to find 15,000 hours of esports content through the various tournaments that ESL will be running this and next year.
Okay, so 15,000 hours.
That's a lot of hours.
I'm going to watch them all. I'm going to watch them all. It's going to be a world record. Robey watches, my stream is gone. I'm just going to watch 15,000 hours of streaming.
I'm very excited.
This includes juggernauts like Counter-Strike Global Offensive, StarCraft 2, Dota 2, FIFA 18, Hearthstone, League of Legends, all the top titles and events you would expect to see from one of the top tournament organizers in the scene. We are thrilled to start seeing popular faces and teams like who?
Astralis, which by the way,
Fnatic.
Okay, Cloud9 obviously, and others compete right here. Okay, Team Liquid, if you want to say it right on your favorite platform, that's this one. And the absolute best part about this, content is already starting to show up on the platform. We'll be showcasing the IEM Sydney CSGO event starting next week. That's Tuesday, with the group stages all the way on to those grand finals for Finals Sunday. You can find the tournament on the ESL Mixer channels. That's mixer.com/ESL_CSGO. No, what's that called?
What?
The dots.
The fall. Oh, the triple dot. The two
dot. The colon. Thank you. Because usually it's CS::go.
I'm
just saying, don't use the colon.
I didn't know. I wasn't
just the
following
letters.
you. I was just like, what are we talking about?
In fairness,
colons? I didn't know.
I understand. So make sure you follow the channel so you get the reminder when the show is live. Yay!
I am very excited because I was watching the CS:GO, watching obviously Team Liquid. Wow.
It's
Team
fine.
Liquid
Welcome to Thursday.
Yeah, Gambit, and that was sad for me. But anyway, interactivity is enabled for the show with voting from time to time. Right now, you'll see 4 choices. 4 to choose from that selects the next segment. These choices are below the video window, right, in the interactive section. Just click on the one you want. 30 seconds to vote. You get to choose once per segment, and results update in real time. Real time. FTL.
I will say I forgot that we had a segment called Ninja and Esports.
Oh, snap.
I know. I obviously will be voting for one, but I'm not going to talk to you about it. But I will say that it's one that right
now it doesn't look like Ninja and Esports is going to be that. I thought that would be like started off, but apparently not. So
you got some diehards here. Oh, look, Ninja did get some love.
Oh, good. Maybe all I have to do is talk about the segment, then maybe people go in there. Okay. So what do we get?
Overwatch League.
And who was excited about that?
Oh, it's probably me.
I know you are.
Okay, you mind if I jump in real quick? Thank you, sir.
Do it.
Well, guys, It's Overwatch League time, and that means Boston continuing their winning streak in Game 5, domination, as they say, over London Spitfire, keeping their undefeated record alive in Stage 3 by taking down Seoul Dynasty as well. Excuse me, Robey, take the rest.
The Battle of the LA teams brought the house down and the competition up to overtime in Game 5 with Valiant ultimately taking the win over the Gladiators.
It's true. Now, Dallas continued their downward spiral.
Yeah, it was bad.
Of course, this time, thank you so much, fabulous man named Scott Wild. So here's the deal. Downward spiral continues for Dallas, but of course this time it was in the arena instead of in the personal lives of their players and their coach. Now with a loss to the San Francisco Shock, but in a zippy and unexpected turn of events, Architect's Shock, so Architect being one of the fabulous players on the Shock, one of the newbie youngies, also found themselves beating out the Philadelphia Fusion. Now remember, these are, of course, like I mentioned, the newest kids on the block with players like Sinatra coming into their own since they were held back due to age.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, Fusion's luck didn't get any better with a loss to New York's Excelsior.
It's true.
And Pines 11 and 1 map record.
Yeah, well, when you got that, sorry.
Yep.
You gotta.
In Jolio, London town. The Spitfire won over Valiant, but went 1-1 overall with the loss to Boston. Fun fact, Prophet leads all Tracer players in final blows and eliminations in the last 10 minutes.
I'm just telling you.
So looking at the league standing, we've got New York with a handy lead, followed by Boston, London, and Seoul Dynasty coming up in the 4th spot.
It's true.
So much for Philadelphia.
Sorry, Philadelphia.
Yep.
So. I will say, yeah, Overwatch League was not hugely dramatic this week. But listen, it's just Stage 3, Week 3. We've got playoffs right around the corner. And we got that cut off.
You know, honestly, it's like, you know, for a league that's basically coming into its own for the first time, it's still super entertaining to watch. Honestly, sometimes the players more than the actual games, if you know what I'm saying. But
if you don't know what he's saying, just check Twitter once a week, and it usually happens.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much cool stuff coming into this particular sport in general. So I'm really stoked to kind of see how it goes. We had like even one of the things that we'll talk about, a little Halo World Championship.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
With what happened with Tox Gaming and with Optic and what's going on with them. And so I just think there's some really great stuff. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Philadelphia Fusion actually just announced they have a farm team from a college. So that they're doing, so we got full blown like things happening.
Scaling up.
So I think Blizzard's doing good things here, and I think we got a lot to basically go on there. So
Blizzard's doing great things. And speaking of great things,
are we voting?
I say we vote.
We're gonna vote.
What would you like to hear?
What do you guys want to see? We got it up. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Some big news there.
Big news.
We got League of Legends, Forza Motorsport, and then look, Ninja. Ninja's taking the lead. So
what is a steady lead there.
Oh man!
And fun fact, by the way, about this Robey guy to my right, Robey, you have actual experience at the Esports Arena in Vegas.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right.
For the grand opening.
Yeah. So if we talk about Ninja, yeah, I was there for the grand opening of that cool new facility at the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas. We got to see a bunch of different stuff. We got to see some Dragon Ball Z. We got to see some Paladins. There was a bunch of stuff that they basically showed off, but that facility's pretty lit, if you know what I'm saying. Like we got to hang out in the VIP section. And then one of the things they announced, which we're going to talk about, I think, here very soon, is Ninja and him hanging out at this new arena.
Yeah, they definitely watching the coverage from that particular grand final. I think the streaming of it's gonna be lit.
Yes,
I love Ninja, but anyway.
So you might be familiar with the name Ninja. If you're not, I'm surprised, but a certain streamer who managed to coax an A-list celeb,
this guy,
cough, cough, Drake, into streaming Fortnite with him. Well, Tyler Ninja Blevins was in Las Vegas this past weekend at the Esport Arena, doing what he does best, streaming Fortnite. And the dude is legit good at Fortnite.
He is legit.
But this stream was also about bringing people together and raising money for charity.
Which is also a really nice X factor. Now, the event was officially named Ninja Vegas 18, because I don't know, they didn't have time to name something cooler. The player pool was open to everyone who paid the entry fee, and including Ninja, that total came to about 233 competitors. Each time a player eliminated Ninja in-game or won a game, they were awarded $2,500. I can't read. Now, when Ninja won, that $2,500 went to the Alzheimer's Association.
So over the course of the 9 games, Ninja only won 1 of them, but that's okay.
That's okay.
But this event was a success in many other ways. The event helped bring together pros, casual gamers, and fans for the fun-filled night of competition, gaming, and celebration.
It's true. Now, as for the players that defeated Ninja, and I guess that's going to be on your resume for the rest of your life, or at least your Twitter handle.
Well, yeah.
Right, your bio.
Yep.
One of them was player Blind, who attended in hopes of making a name for himself as a Fortnite player.
I guess that's a way to do it.
Probably did.
I mean, we're talking about him. I mean, this is legit.
I mean, for sure. Because of his success at the event, he's already had organizations reach out to him. Another winner, 4D Storm, shocked everyone as the cameras panned to him after his win. Guess what? Home slice is 14. Yeah.
Now,
you heard me.
That's crazy.
That's very impressive.
The number of people that tuned in to watch blew past expectations, and Ninja's stream surpassed the previous Twitch record, you know, the one he set with Drake, after reaching over 660,000 concurrent viewers. That is a lot of viewers. That is almost as many as I get on my streams.
That's almost as many. Just shy.
And considering how well received the event was, it showed that Fortnite may have the promising future in the world of esport tournaments. If you'd like to watch the VOD of the event, head over to Ninja's Twitch channel.
Google Ninja Twitch.
I'm going to take a moment here because one of the coolest things about it, which actually this might be the segment here. No, it wasn't. But during the thing, like a little boy was just talking to Ninja. Ninja brought him on stage. Like the boy was just super inspired. I know a lot of people like in chat are talking about, hey, meh, he's overrated. But honestly, the guy's got a really good heart. And if you watch the event, I think it's really cool to have somebody like that in the scene, doing the things that he's doing, right? And right now, I think he's doing it right. So shout out to Ninja. And if you want to play with me and Drake, you know where to find me.
It's true. It's absolutely true. I will say also, it's we'll talk a little bit more about PUBG and their esports future here and what's coming up. But I will say that for Fortnite as an esport, it's an interesting take on it to really showcase one player and have it be quite literally a 1v the rest of the field. I don't know how I feel about it, other than that it was obviously a well-received event. It seemed like it was well done, clearly, but it is an interesting take on the battle royales genre and esports within it.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll talk about this a little bit more when we get there. Why don't we open up the voting now? Let's open the voting and we'll talk about it. But like I think maybe you guys, if you guys want to hear more about this, we got PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds here. We're trying to save. Like, we're trying to have good segments, but, like, we want to talk about these things. Okay, good. Hey, they're hearing us. They're hearing us. They're hearing us. We want to talk about PUBG.
That's true.
Let's do the votes. Don't worry. We'll get to League of Legends and Forza and
It's true. They're all here. They're all here.
They're all here. I know. We have fans everywhere, but you know, I have my favorites. But I think we're going to talk about PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
I feel pretty confident about it, unless you all want to, check us on that.
We'll let it go. We'll let it go. But yeah, we got big news in PUBG.
Big news. Big esports specific news.
Yes.
Which is an interesting play, and guess what? You get to talk about it.
Okay, so why don't we start with this? The GLL, aka the Global Loot League, is the official PUBG esports league. Regular season featured 36 teams from North America and the European regions, split into 2 divisions, Alpha and Bravo. How very militaristic. Very PUBG Alpha Bravo. These teams duked it out over the course of 6 weeks. Because this is a battle royale games, teams earned points and were able to move between the divisions based on the results from each week. Relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
The top 8 teams from each region then moved on to the grand finals held in Bucharest, which sounds awesome, and this past weekend where there was a 50,000 prize pool that awaited claiming.
That was not bad.
Now, teams took on a gauntlet of 16 matches to determine the best of the best, but again, this is a battle royale genre, which is relatively new to esports when you really think about it. So points are earned for kills and survival, so tactics, technique, and situations hugely vary from game to game, especially in a game like with loot and everything else that you get in PUBG. So
exactly. Now, when you stick the best players together, things are bound to get a little crazy. Teams traded places like they were trading cards. FaZe Clan and Envious managed 12 kills in the first game, but in Game 3, these teams dropped near the bottom. FaZe netting just a single kill, while Envy killed a total of 0.
And this tells you something, like with teams like Envy and stuff like that, like they're like, it's like this is starting to be a thing, right? So anyway, Lumber Mill's somewhat consistent top 8 finishes managed to play out well for them, allowing them to finish in 2nd place. Optic, who can we say? Optic was in a similar boat, but always the bridesmaid, never the bride. With no wins, they ended up in 4th.
It's true. Now, Ghost Gaming took, by the way, has the best team house ever.
Absolutely.
Ghost Gaming took 3rd after a couple wins late in the competition, but it was Na'Vi who managed to rise to the top. Made up of players Shade, and I think it's Shade 1, but maybe just Shadel or whatever. Drainus. Drays. I'm sorry, guys. This is how new this particular esports genre is.
It is.
Poka Molodoi.
And Uba.
And Uba. Now, these guys quietly dominated the competition. Now, while they traded back and forth from the bottom to the top of the results for each round, they did manage to take 4 chicken dinners with nearly 80 kills across 16 games.
That's actually pretty dang good.
That's not bad at all.
Now, this competition brought together some of the best PUBG players in the world. So if you'd like to catch the VOD, be sure to check it out at twitch.tv/GLL.
It's true. Now, while Season 1 may be over, Season 2 is just beginning. Think you can take on the competition? Sign up with your squad at play.gll.gg. And here's a fun fact. There's 100 grand on the line this time around.
Now that's nice and all, 100,000.
That's
not bad. But I don't know if you guys know this, but Player Unknown, so PUBG Corp just announced, and this is what we're talking about, the Global Invitational, which will be happening in Berlin in July. So this is July 25th through the 29th.
So just after Comic-Con.
Just after Comic-Con.
Before Gamescom.
Yep. So, and this is key time, because the other thing too is that's right around League of Legends, college finals, and then we got Heroes of the Dorm and all those other ones. So it's prime time, and just before all the September craziness with like TI and everything else, and Worlds. So difference is we talked about 100,000, $2 million.
Like you guys can't see it, but there's definitely like
goosebumps.
There's goosebumps
and I have freckles, but those have nothing to do with it. It's just like it is what it is. But so they're basically, and the other thing too is like this is true like worldwide competition. So they have Europe, North America, Asia, Republic of Korea, People's Republic of China, Japan, South America, Latin America, Oceania, and Middle East. They have seeds from all of those different regions, and like you can find out all the details. Yeah, it's going to be insane. Now the other thing too is like watching a battle royale, like how they're going to set up from a stage, because this is 4 teams. 25 teams of 4 people.
Okay, so it is. I believe it is like IEM Oakland was earlier this year.
Yep. So it's going to be like how they're going to do stage and all that sort of stuff. I don't know, but I'm super interested, and I think this is so like in terms of like we talk about Fortnite, which is like Ninja was kind of their first splash.
Sure.
Like PUBG is actually they've got GLL, and now they've got like official PUBG Corp, like $2 million thing, and like when you talk about a pot that big, that puts it up there in terms of overall thing.
It absolutely does,
so,
and quite frankly, it puts it up ahead of a number of other esports that are more established and defined.
Yeah,
so,
like WCS, Halo.
no kidding. COD was here.
200 grand.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like $2 million. That's TI, League of Legends. We're up there. So
well, it wasn't Worlds last year. What, like 4.5 or something?
Yeah, so
something like that.
Yes, this is like, and right now we don't know what the size of the pots are for those 2 particular ones, right? Like we know how like Valve and Riot do those things, so we'll know about those probably August timeframe. Yeah. This is exciting. Big news.
Exciting. Speaking of exciting, let's see what y'all want to hear. Oh wait, is it trivia? Am I wrong?
I don't know.
It's trivia.
It's trivia.
Hey.
Here's a question. What time is it? Is it trivia? No,
it's It happens.
Sorry,
so
I'm off the show. I'm off the show.
Get the big thing.
What's that called? The cane.
The cane. That's the one.
Cane, yeah.
Okay, here's one for you guys. Which team won the PUBG GLL Season 1 tournament? Was it Na'Vi, Ghost Gaming, Optic, or FaZe Clan?
We literally this
just
shows
talked
you
about
if this shows you if you even listen to us.
I mean,
like if this is like.
I mean, in fairness, I very rarely listen to my own self, so I'm just gonna double check. Because I don't remember. How bad is that? Oh Lord.
Do we know the answer?
We
got 5 seconds. We do know this. We do know the answer. Huh? Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Who is it? We should probably.
Yeah.
Was it Na'Vi?
Yeah, it's Na'Vi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shut up, Lennox.
Sure. I was like, I thought like.
I hadn't scrolled down yet.
I was like, wait, we just said that, right? Like.
Didn't we just see? Good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
You know what? You get extra points, Robey. So here we go. What's next one? And.
Okay, now it's time for voting, right?
Now it's no. Actually, we have 3 trivias in a row, and then we go 3 stories.
I don't even know if I can handle this.
It's okay. I believe in you, though. How much money was on the line per game for Ninja's event? I know the answer to this one. I know it.
You sure?
I do.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
Answer?
Now I know it.
You want to call in a friend?
My phone a friend? Well, I got to call Ricari in Jamaica?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Who's yes. Man,
saying.
that guy. This is to you, buddy. This is to you.
Yeah, it must be real hard. This isn't water.
Yeah. That we asked for that special other clear liquid, as we hear about Ricari.
It's true. He's drinking clear liquid, I guarantee you.
Is.
Unless rum comes in dirt.
Okay, well, I think the majority of people heard us on that one.
Thank God.
Thank gosh.
$2,500.
$2,500. And, you know, that's how much Ninja won, too. So there we go. And he gave it to charity. Oh, what?
Oh, well, we did. You know what? That was tricky.
Oh my gosh.
That was trickster.
So all in all, like, I would just like to give a shout out to producers who don't trick people on their show.
What's that like?
Yeah, what's that like?
Okay. Which team currently leads the standings in the Overwatch League? Okay.
We did say this.
This one we did.
Yes.
Sorry, son, for being so loud, by the way. Our audio engineer is
good
probably
in there, but yeah,
hating
all
me.
in all, yeah, it was tricky. People, like, even people in chat were relatively angry at that one.
That's
Because you know what? That question was worth $10 million. 10 million sparks.
We should have told them that. I want 10 million sparks because there's fun things you can do with it. You can change the lights.
Change the lights.
You don't like blue? I don't know why you're on this channel, but if you don't like it, you could change it.
Whoever wins gets to come hang out with Tabs.
Not on this show, though.
Gets to hang out with Tabs and change the lights.
That's right. He does just give you the remote, but it's fine. Are we Yahtzee?
Yeah,
okay.
I think people got this one.
Thank
and if
you,
you said
New York
Philadelphia
Excelsior.
Fusion, we would have been sad.
You know what? If Jeff Rubenstein is watching this and you were the one that was voting, I appreciate your vote, but we all know they're not making playoffs.
Yeah, they are not making playoffs.
Well, league playoffs. They might.
I don't know.
I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, that's true. We only have one league left.
They'll get there maybe someday.
It's fine.
It'll be optic.
It's fine. I don't know. Dallas kind of sucks. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Hey, speaking of our next segment, H1Z1, one of the original Battle Royales to be on television, by the way. The CW did an H1Z1 tournament series. Remember that?
That's right.
I don't remember how much it was for, but I have not heard of them for a very long time.
So, yeah, we're voting. Right now, we're voting H1Z1, League of Legends. We got Forza Motorsport. And Madden.
It's true.
It's Madden's out there.
Warblade, Shanghai Dragons. I know. I feel you. I feel you so hard. I want them to win, if for no other reason than Gregory. Gregory, I don't know how to say her name, but like I just
don't want it to be.
her.
I want it to be 0 LA teams. That's
fair.
That's all I really care about.
Fair.
I just don't want it to be a single LA team.
Well, you know,
I'm a huge fan of military aircraft, so I'm kind of going for London Spitfire.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's fancy.
Battle Britain, you know, hey, there we go. You know, a little throwback for those of you who understand. You know, Spitfires were in World War II. Do you really know? I do, but like, let's see if they do. But anyway, throwing it back there. It looks like we got our vote though.
H1Z1.
H1Z1.
We're gonna talk Battle Royale. I'll jump right in here, my friend. Listen up, Battle Royale fans, if you weren't already listening from earlier segments. The inaugural season of the H1Z1 Pro League is upon us, and with it, the dawn of a new age of competitive esports. Now, the league will feature 75 of the top H1Z1 players battling it out across 15 teams a week for the duration of the season, and those teams include some familiar names. We're talking Cloud9, we're talking Rick Fox's Echo Fox, TSM, and many more.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, Echo Fox, I mean, they did a strong showing in COD.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, all in all, to see some of those names, those are like legit teams. So the season is divided between 2 splits and a championship match. Each split will feature 10 events, and each event will consist of 2 matches, with all 15 teams competing in each match. Now, teams will be competing for cumulative match points over the course of the season, with one team being crowned the victor during the championship finale.
Or the king of the hill.
Yeah, the king of the zombie. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, when does split 1 begin?
I'll tell you right now, Robey, it begins on April 21st. And when I say begins, I mean began, because right now we're almost into May. Are we into May? No, we're not. Okay, I don't know what day it is or who I am. April 21st is when it began, with 2 action-packed Royal Rumbles. Match 1 found Epsilon Esports mercilessly take out Echo Fox. Sad day for Rick. And Counter Logic Gaming, also known as CLG, in a rapid succession to survive the round and come out on top with a whopping 28 match points to kick off the season.
Wow.
That's not too shabby.
Nope.
Echo Fox and Alliance rounded out the top 3, each finishing with 14 match points. Still not bad.
Now, match 2 came to a close with Cloud9 victory, but despite being the sole survivors of the match, they were unable to make up the deficit of points between them and Epsilon's massive first match total. At the end of the match, Teams Rogue and Gangsters led in both match points, both earning 14, while Cloud9 brought up a third, earning 12.
That's not terrible, I guess. At the end of week, it's better than I would do. That's what I'll say.
There we go. But I mean, like, is that really a bar?
I don't know.
Is that a bar?
It should
like
not
when we say stuff like that?
Quite
like,
honestly, it really should not be.
Yeah.
It should not be at all. At the end of week 1 of the H1Z1 Pro League, the top 5 teams based on match point standings were as follows. Epsilon Esports came in at number 1 with a whopping 33 Ps. Rogue at number 2 with 23 points. Echo Fox number 3 with 22. Counter Logic Gaming at number 4 with 19. And finally, Alliance rounding out at number 5 with 16 Pointaloo's.
Okay, so at the time of this writing for this segment, week 2 of the league was in progress, with week 3 on the way on May 2nd, which is when May actually starts.
Got it.
Starting at 7 p.m. To catch VODs of week 1 and 2 matches, see current standings, and learn more about the teams and the rules for the league by heading to h1pl.com.
There you go. H1PL, h1proleague.com.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, that's a good name.
It's a great name. Look at that setup too, by the way. I mean, I'm not minding it. It's kind of in the round.
And that's another one, like with the survival match. Like, I think it's crazy. Like, it's cool how they actually figured out how to make it competitive and stuff like that. So and it actually, I mean, like I said, big names there, you know, like Cloud9, Fox Gaming and stuff like that. So I think it'll be worth checking out to see how that scene grows.
Absolutely. Plus, if you're into Battle Royale, why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, how soon till all of us are into Battle Royale in some way, shape, or form, right?
True.
Like, in the end, it's like we have, not only do we have, like, the stuff like with the PUBG invite, we know that Fortnite is going to be doing something very soon, right? And I think with the Ninja stuff, and then to see H1Z1 out there, it's only a matter of time.
Only a matter
of time.
Speaking of which, should we go to seems like we're going to go to another...
Are we voting? Are we
voting?
Maybe we should just dance.
We're
voting.
We're voting.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I
dear.
hurt you.
It's okay. No, don't worry about it. I got this.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm hurting. Okay, so choose.
Oh, you're hurting.
Choose the next segment.
Okay, we got Splatoon 2, known throughout the world as a top-tier esports. League of Legends, Forza Motorsport, and, of course, Madden rounding out.
I'm really surprised. It's like, I honestly thought we talked about League pretty early on, right? So
and that's
I guess we're learning something about, like, our audience, right?
Guys,
like, so.
I guess you're not into, which is interesting because, you know, we just had some announcements about MSI.
I know.
We've got, I mean, League, as I understand it, the biggest esport in the world.
90 million people between the 2 final events. 90 million.
That is
not a small number.
No.
That is almost as many people who follow me on Tinder.
Very, very close. Very close. Swipe right if you want to talk about Forza Motorsport. Oh, in fact, we do.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
You should do it.
Okay,
Speed
the Forza
Racer.
Racing Championships 2018 started last week and begins a 7-week journey to Series 1 playoffs here in Seattle in June.
Yeah.
So this year is a $250,000 prize pool, which is... That's actually a good number, right?
Fantastic.
That's more than COD last week. So Forza's largest pool to date. I mean, that's.
It's true. It's what it is. I get it.
So over 400 drivers compete in the online regionals, and we're narrowed down to 24 drivers to compete in the Wednesday showdown. On the EMEA side, familiar drivers Lage, Box, and Roadrunner, which I like that name, took spots 1, 2, and 3 in the first race at Sebring, with Lage and Box also taking first and second in the race 2 at Silverstone, which are both good tracks. Race 3 shook everyone up at Nürburgring.
So hard to say.
Driven it myself. Nürburgring GP with a reverse grid commando took first, while Box and Lage took 11th and 12th respectively. That's a bit of a drop.
Wow, that is interesting. Lage is always at the top.
So you want to talk about the North American? You want me to?
No, you go for it.
Okay, on the North American side, race 1 at Sebring brought familiar names Lightning, Venom, and Harmonic to first and second and third. The real drama came in race 2 when Lightning was penalized for making contact with Venom, and a 5-second penalty bumped Lightning from first to second.
Ooh.
Let's roll the clip.
Yeah, let's see. Is this what we're looking at here?
Is this what we're looking at right here?
I think we're seeing. Is this Diablo? No. Which one are we seeing? There's Lightning. Okay, cool. And Venom right behind him.
Oh, wait.
Here we go.
Here we go. This is the real clip.
Here we go. So we are looking at. Oh, that was wow. That was like a love tap.
That's what you take. That's what you take.
God.
This is just telling you. This is they don't mess around in this.
They do not listen. I get it. Turn 10. Those guys over there know their stuff.
Yeah. In race 3, the North Americans were able to do a lot more with the reverse grid, and the race finished with Venom in second and Lightning in third. All in all, incredible racing from both tournaments. Be sure to watch next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern at mixer.com/ForzaRC.
3 p.m. Eastern. If I'm doing my math correctly, that's Noon.
You were doing your math correctly.
Pacific.
Was that like
Almost
that was
didn't
like
do it
time
correctly.
That's like time traversal.
I was
math. I don't know.
almost yeah. Usually anyway, there's that. So here, let's keep our topics a rolling. Am I correct, folks?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
We got Splatoon 2 still. League is still on the board.
I know. But
League is still on the board.
I'm okay with this. Like, I kind of want to show the Halo video highlights.
That is true.
Like, I got to go and attend WCS, so I'm pretty stoked about that. So we were all hanging out. That was a super good. My boy's Envious. Like a big fan. I know I wanted it to be an Envious Splice finals. Talks ended up going there. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Envious only wanted to take Splice to 7 games.
Sure. Only
wanted to take Splice to 7 games. So everybody was like, no, I want Talks to go. And it's like, the whole thing with the optics split and stuff like that. But I was like, come on, Envious.
Well, not only
I wanted
that,
it to be a good final. And it really kind of wasn't. It was pretty lopsided.
I was going to say, it was the age of optics / Talks. It was the age of that team for a long time. And the idea of coming in, even honestly, like we were talking about some of the EU teams. Reciprocity was coming. Was Reciprocity EU team? Good Lord. Who's Jimbo? And what is he on?
So I don't think
Which one? Infused?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'm happy.
Okay, so anyway,
go
so
for it.
So all in all, it's just, okay. We'll talk about it here. So we're gonna talk about some Halo stuff, but
it's true.
It was actually a very good thing. So we're gonna run
a video highlight.
So
it's our segment where we get to showcase stories within the esports scene that we think you need to watch. For this video, we have
an interview done at the Halo World Championships with one of the members of the 405th Squad. Which these are the guys who dress up. They're awesome.
They're so good.
They travel to events in Halo cosplay, and we traveled down to Halo Championships last weekend and filmed some additional content. So check out this piece.
I'm dressed like this because I love Halo, love the Seahawks, wanted to put them together. .405th is a Halo costuming group, and we're nationwide, worldwide, and all we want to do is bring people together that love Halo, love building props, and just create a fun environment and bring some smiles on people's faces wherever we go. We're here because Halo is a big deal. Championships, the finals are coming in, and what better way to show our support and have a great time than showing up and trooping around in the armor, make some people's day, and make it a little bit more exciting. 405th has been around for years. I don't know the exact start. I only know I've only been involved from about a year and a half ago, but it's been a whirlwind ever since. Our community in the 405th is a tight-knit family. All of us love what we do, and we push each other to make sure that we can all have the best thing that we can put out there. But we welcome everybody that comes in. I had no idea how to do any of this stuff before I showed up, and it only took me one event to get hooked, and from then on, I've been working and building props ever since. And that happens with all of us, 100%, across the board.
One of the goals of the show is to talk to people in the esports scene about, esports and all the things that they can do. But before we get to that, I would like you to know that video is part of the Halo's YouTube channel, which you can see at youtube.com/Halo Waypoint. You can also follow their channel Mixer at mixer.com/Halo.
Now, we have a lot of goodies buried within these video highlights, so if you see it as a voting option, make sure to select it. Speaking of voting, let's not open it up again. We're going to go to a special guest.
We are going to go to a special guest, which is what I alluded to earlier, which is a part of our thing we like to call IRL Esports. And as I mentioned, one of the goals is to highlight the amazing people and events that happen in the esports and competitive gaming scene. Every week, we'll try to feature a different personality in this space. And this time, we got someone who's been around in the esports scene for quite some time, and if you've been in the scene long enough, you've probably seen one of his interviews, tweets, articles, or any content-wise to do with esports. I can't speak, and that is going on in the scene. Please welcome Rod Slasher, and I don't know how to say your last name, Rod.
Breslau, but that was
Breslau.
good. I don't know how to say is equal to Breslau, so you did it perfect.
Okay,
Take
good.
it, Breslau.
Yeah,
Everyone, it's Rod Breslau.
He's actually got that translated that way, so if you just say that, it just says his name.
That makes sense. I get it. First of all, Rod, tell us who you are and, a little bit about yourself more than the quick intro I gave you.
So TLDR is that I've been in esports for over 15 years now. I started as a competitor in Quake, it's a game that I played growing up, and ever since then I've been competing, writing, interviewing, doing talk shows, and just being a general enthusiast to make esports as mainstream as it is now, and I am very happy that I am on a show like this in 2018 because of how far our industry has gone in the last 2 decades.
And by the way, Rod, you have a sportscaster voice like no one else I know.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
You absolutely are in the right scene.
Yeah, you definitely are. Like, I'm getting chills. Get a couple
It's also
chills.
quite cold in here, but that's probably not to do with
yeah,
it.
that's really what's actually happening.
I mean, I don't have the face for it, so as long as I have the voice.
Oh, don't you say that. Don't you say that, Rod. So let's talk about Overwatch League for a minute. Let's get your take. It's obviously a brand new league on the block. Well, brand new probably isn't the right
No,
word,
it is.
right?
No, I think
it's an inaugural season.
Yeah, it is. They're pretty brand new. I think you would say, like, and I see him laughing a little bit, and then when you think about everything that's kind of going on around the players and everything else, so they're currently in their second stage of competition. How do you think the league is doing as a whole right now, being it's only in their first year?
Yeah.
You know, before the league started, I honestly gave Blizzard a lot of flack leading up to the start of the league because I've been involved in Overwatch Esports before Overwatch League was a thing and before they even had the idea to host the show, and I was underwhelmed. As someone who's been in the industry for a long time, and also as someone who's played the game at a high level since the closed beta came out, as a competitor myself, I didn't think that Blizzard was exactly handling Overwatch Esports that well. And coming into Overwatch League, I was seriously concerned after selling these spots for $20 million a piece that they were not going to get the viewership needed to make this league a success. And honestly, Blizzard has proved me wrong. And the viewership has been great the entire season. The production is one of the best in all of esports right now, and everything they've done, not including the players who've done their best to try to screw up all the good press around the league.
Oh God, it's true.
Blizzard and the organizations have really done an incredible job so far with the league, and they really have, I think, shut down a lot of the haters coming in, including myself.
Wow.
Well, there
Takes
you go.
a real man to say that, but I appreciate it for sure.
So, I mean, do you think just a lot of the controversy, when we think about why the league has seen so much controversy in the first year, do you think is it the players? Is it the league? I think you think it's the players, yeah?
I mean, yeah, almost every single controversy that we've had so far is a player having extremely inappropriate conversations with underage girls. You've had players making homophobic remarks. You've had players, you know, doing extremely insensitive gestures, facial gestures. So really, it hasn't been too great in terms of what the players have done to bring kind of like the drama to the stage. Of course, this type of drama is in all entertainment industries and in esports, but I do think in Overwatch, it does kind of draw a younger player than some of the other games like Counter-Strike, where the pro players are older because they've been in the scene for much longer. And because the community and Overwatch has a young pro player base, they're more apt to making poor decisions and mistakes like these because they are not used to situations like this.
Totally. Like, I kind of want, I know VP is not exactly doing well in CSGO, but I kind of would like the sort of the elder statesmen to come alongside these guys to really show what you can do and how you can, like, make that career a career and not have this flash in the pan mentality wherein by some of these things you do on your off time, offline, get you in trouble.
Well, it's interesting too, right? Because these players actually have a salary, right? Like they're actually getting paid, like they're making a living regardless of whatever it is. But I mean, just to kind of go a little bit off, like how do you think about like Blizzard's handling of the situation as you've kind of seen this stuff go in there, and like Blizzard's response in terms of, you know, managing these teams and the controversy, you know, around the players?
I think they've actually done a really great job so far in each of the situations. With XQC, with Eco, and then most recently with Dreamcasper, I think they've actually handled it quite well in terms of mitigating the amount of controversy around the situation and acting quickly to try to make everything okay with the fans who are concerned. I will say there are two caveats to these things. One is that there is no players' union officially for the Overwatch League, and for all major traditional sports in America, there are always a players union to represent the players. So although, for example, XQC definitely did not help himself in any things that he did, including the homophobic remarks and his chat tryhard spam in Twitch chat. Both things very much not okay to do. At the same time, he does not have a union to back him in this situation to help him in his case.
Right.
He has to personally appeal to Blizzard in terms of fighting this, and there's no way that he would be able to do this. So although XQC did do wrong things, I kind of feel like he was railroaded here, especially considering that the try-hard chat thing, you know, it's an emote that's allowed by Twitch, that's allowed in Twitch chat, and it's, you know, in context, it might not be so bad, but he's not able to get full representation besides his agent to fully go into the situation. I think that did hurt him. The other thing I'll say is that Blizzard's handling of the memes, I am not a fan of at all. I do not think banning Pepe is going to enforce a more diverse or safer space inside of the league.
Yeah.
I understand that, you know, memes have been adopted by, you know, the alt-right or certain wings of here in America in a very, you know, interesting climate that we have now in a political, cultural sense here in the U.S., but many people have no idea what that is, and all they know is feels good man, feels bad man, and they associate Pepe with just good vibes and video games. And they actually could have taken an approach here to take back Pepe into the hands of the gamers and to totally disassociate themselves with these groups. Instead, they caved, and they kind of look foolish. And I've had fun making fun of them doing this, and I think a lot of the players and people have too. So I don't think that's been a win on their side.
Well, I think this is one of the things too about, you know, when you talk about how Blizzard has just really tried to, like, with the $20 million to basically have a league and everything else, like when you try and legitimize something so quickly, right? Like, I think they're also racing to kind of get ahead of stuff as well, and you're kind of seeing some of the things you're talking about where you're seeing gaps and holes that need to be filled that are just becoming more apparent as this stuff continues to happen. And that's kind of why I asked you the question in terms of what you thought of the response, you know, because I think a lot of people need to understand, like, in traditional sports and everything else, where we see some of those gaps, and this stuff is just forcing the issue a lot quicker. I think you would agree with that, yeah?
Yep, I would definitely say so. I mean, of course, Blizzard has to be proactive in terms of their response to a lot of these situations, you know, but on the other hand, you have a company like Valve where, you know, they have let a lot of things slip through because of how hands-off their approach is with their games like Dota and Counter-Strike, and that's caused its own problems. But at the same time, their hands-off approach, more so than companies like Riot and Blizzard, has allowed a different type of ecosystem to fester, and some of that is actually good because the esports industry kind of polices itself without the need of the developer publisher to kind of cram everything down people's throats.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears here. Let's talk about some fun stuff that are most importantly future potential superstars of Overwatch. Who are you watching for? Who do you have your eye on in terms of teams and players?
Personally, I think right now there's a player called Flower in Contenders who was one of the top players on LW Blue, and he was one of the best projectile player, DPS players in Korea. He is not yet 18. I believe he turns 18 in a month or two.
Sounds about right.
And because of that, he is not on an OWL team right now. So the NYXL has the first right he's a restricted free agent, basically. Whenever he turns 18, other teams are allowed to make bids to sign him away from NYXL's academy roster, but NYXL has the first right of refusal to match any offer done by any other team to keep him. So personally, I think he's going to be by far the #1 free agent on the market when the season is over and free agency resumes. That all teams are going to look to start picking up. You know, along that vein, it really is not going to be surprising to me if next season, if Blizzard brings in, let's say, 4 to 6 new franchises, which I think is what is expected of them, and you have 12 players per team. If, let's say, they have 4 new franchises, I wouldn't be surprised if that's 48 Korean players.
Oh, wow, okay.
Coming into the league. And, you know, obviously we've seen this trend in League of Legends, how Korea is the world championship, I think, for the last 4 years. StarCraft has a extremely long history of being the best in the world of that game over almost 2 decades now. And Overwatch, I mean, very quickly, I was one who early on Overwatch Esports was like, no. This is an FPS game. This is like a deathmatch FPS game like Quake or TF2, where all Western players have dominated. This is our scene. This is our time as a North American and European scene to finally show that we are best in the world, and Korea won't do it. And just like Blizzard showed me that OWL is a success, Korea very quickly won all of the Apex tournaments when it really counted in season 3 and 4, and now are completely dominating the Overwatch League right now in places 1, 2, and 3, with NYXL leading the way. So with all of that considered, and how much better the Korean rank system is, and the Korean tier 2 system is, and the Korean tournament, the tier 2 tournament scene out there and contenders is, I believe that the next best players in Overwatch League Season 2 will more than likely come from Korea and the Korean contender scene. It's not to say that there won't be some players in NAEU who can show themselves and become superstars. And I think there's a lot of pressure on people like Sinatra, who had very big public contracts announced before the league started, up to 150K, who really do have to show how good they are because they got those contracts. But I'm feeling 48 Korean players for Season 2 coming into WL.
I just like the idea of a possible change of scenery from Korea to potentially Cleveland.
Well, I'm
just guessing too.
I'm also hoping
I
that,
should
like,
say
you know,
Cleveland.
with the deal that Philadelphia Fusion just did with the university there in Pennsylvania, that with these feeder schools for coming from colleges, we might see actually some of that stuff get better in the U.S. as well. So let's hope for some. I want some North American representation as well. We got some pride there when it comes to FPSs.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
I know.
But I'm more than welcome to see that for either of you. I don't know about colleges working, and I certainly can't see Cleveland winning ever, even if they got a team in Overwatch League. So you might be waiting a while, Kate.
I love it. That's fair. I'm just saying, listen, what I really want is an Overwatch team out of Seattle, but I will settle for just an additional couple. It's fine.
Yeah.
I want one out of Seattle.
Maybe we'll do the same thing that we'll just import a Korean team like we did with the Mariners and get the Japanese, baseball team. That would work.
I have no problem with that. I'm fine. I like winning. I wonder what that's like.
We're going to start pooling money here in the studio.
It's fine.
We got, between the group of us, we got about $40. We got a little bit more to raise, but we can do it.
It's true. Actually, we got a question from the chat here. Slasher, do you think Korea would dominate at Wake Champs? Seems it's still US/EU dominated.
Probably not, just because they don't play the game.
Yeah.
And any game that really isn't going to be big in the region, they're likely not going to win. It's the same reason why Korea doesn't dominate Dota or Counter-Strike. It's because the majority of players there play League of Legends. And in terms of Counter-Strike, they have their own games like Sudden Attack and Crossfire, which they put a lot more effort into. And now they're really into PUBG because it's a Korean developer, and it's now the #1 game in Korean PC bangs. It wouldn't surprise me if Korea is winning every single tournament in PUBG in the next 6 to 12 months.
Well, we'll see in
Berlin. Now Fortnite is coming out in China, so who knows? I'm sure Asia's going to dominate Fortnite in the next year. And that'll be the case there.
Well, I guess we'll see in Berlin, right? But because basically PUBG Corp gave them 2 seeds, right? So everybody else got 3, but Korea only got 2, so that'll be super interesting. And I do have to give a shout out because Scarlett, who won the Intel Masters,
that's true.
She did beat SOS for StarCraft, but then in the recent competition she then lost, and SOS is now.
It's true, but I will say that was.
But we had one.
That was
North
the
American.
first. She's Canadian. One.
Well,
sadly,
still North
but
America.
NA. But I believe that she was also the only person, and also, but I think she was the only non-Korean that beat SOS in his career.
So I'm just saying, like, we have hope. I want to see hope on your face. I want to see hope. There it is, right there, a little bit.
Look, I am all about promoting NA Esports. I shaved my head live on stage at BlizzCon when Huck won MLG Orlando.
Yes, that's right.
I said that he was not going to win and that Koreans would win the entire circuit. So I am more than willing to put my own life on the line to see the North Americans win. And actually, really, to be honest, they have done way better in the last 2 years than they ever have. Cloud9 won the first Counter-Strike major in 10 years for North America. The last time was 2006 at CPL, Intel, WSVG, and I was at that event. And to see how long it has taken for Cloud9 to win a major is a huge thing. Neeb won GSL. The only foreigner to ever win GSL is an American. So there are a lot of players that are, you know, really performing. Punk almost won EVO to be the first American to win Street Fighter. It took a remarkable comeback and performance by Taquito to stop them from happening. So Americans are performing. They are doing well. They are putting up the numbers. It's just, in general, I expect them to lose all of the time.
Well, I mean, hey, I guess that makes it for the best surprises, right, overall, right?
That was the best. Actually, we have one last question here, which is our favorite one. And I'm always curious how to phrase this, because you know it's something that you in the esports scene get all the time, I'm sure, from people who just don't get it, or as my Uber driver called it yesterday, video gamers, and winning things. I don't know. It was a weird conversation. At any rate, my question is what do you tell skeptical people about esports and the competitive gaming scene when they ask you why it's such a big deal? And do you say you should get into it?
It is a good question. Usually, I try to get a feel of like who the person I'm talking to is and what their background is. So if they come from sports, it's a very easy kind of analogy for me to go to, where it's people playing video games for money. That's generally as the line that I go to, which is like an easy way to do it. And then I could say it's just like sports, there are teams, there are players, there are leagues, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of an easier one. If they come from other backgrounds, like tech is also pretty easy because it's kind of involved. Usually people will know Twitch, and there are certain things. When it comes to people that aren't really into sports or not into technology, it does get harder to kind of explain what it is. But I really do think, especially in the last few years with how large the industry has gotten and just how big things that are related to esports, like streaming, and how big social media is, and how big like Twitch and YouTube are, and how big in general video games are, that it has become a lot easier to get into that conversation. I wouldn't say that I push people to like force them, you gotta watch this right now or you're missing out. This is one of those fear of missing out things, and you better too or you're gonna regret it. I wouldn't say I go that far, but I do try to, you know, find at least, especially because people have different tastes, I do try to find the one game that would most appeal to them. So if they are into traditional sports, maybe it's sports games, which the esports scenes that they would find out. If they're more into single player games, maybe it's the bigger video games that have more appeal to like single player people, like in Overwatch,
right?
Or
Dota,
you know, kind of the
Splatoon.
Splatoon.
Yeah, that's literally never come out of my mouth to tell people what to do. And then there are other people where I think really fighting games are the very best esport of any single game to get a person who is coming from the outside into this space. It's the easiest to understand. It's the easiest to just look at the screen and get what's going on without having too much explanation. And really nothing can beat a fighting game in terms of the ease of access to people who want to experience competitive gaming in these sports.
But I mean, I think people like, I mean, for instance, like at the TI, I think people like Valve are getting better at getting like mainstream viewers and educating them while they watch. I thought it was really cool that they had that second stream up for people to learn about the game. So we are getting better as an industry to actually teach people. You know, when you have 45 million people watching, you want more to kind of come in and understand what's going on. So
there you go.
Anyway.
That's true.
Slasher, thank you very much. Where can people find you and your work? And do you have any, you know, special shout-outs, or like outside of just this great TV show that I know that you were excited to be on?
Yes, I would too. I was so excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me. You know, right now, no, I'm just training to be a pro gamer. I'm going to make my comeback into being a professional Overwatch player into Season 2. I'm going to get to the Combine. I've beaten Seagull in a tournament. I've beaten OWL players in a tournament. There's no other journalist in esports that can say that.
Ooh,
so that is my goal.
Dude.
I'm going to be the world's #1 esports consultant and an Overwatch Elite player, and no one can touch that shit.
Wow. And not only they've turned the heat up, so I actually have genuine chills now, and I want to appreciate what. I got nothing.
Well, what's your Twitter handle? Is it @Slasher?
It is Slasher.
Well,
I'm one of those people who was able to get the original name.
Well, you win all of the prizes, and I hope you win many more things to come. And I say thank you so very, very much for being with us. And you, sir, have a fabulous day and keep grinding.
And there were more than 6, just so you know.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what your comment means at all. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks very much. We'll see you later. Oh, man.
Wow.
That guy is awesome.
That guy is awesome. And I really hope he makes it, because I'll vote. I'll just join Team Liquid.
Oh, God. Dear Lord. There it is. Oh, yeah. Well, guess what? It is time already for upcoming tournaments. Remember, folks, for these tournaments that are on the Mixer platform and are a part of Mixer Esports, follow the channel to get a notification when they go live.
What are you doing?
I don't know. Isn't that obvious by now? I don't know what I am doing. Oh, there goes my IFB.
Oh, man.
Whoopsies.
Okay.
Now I can't hear the producer.
I don't think he wants to talk to you anymore anyway. He's like, please stop. So
let's talk CSGO.
Yeah,
Down
CSGO.
under.
Something that we talked about earlier in the show for our breaking news segment, ESL tournaments can now be found on Mixer.
Huzzah!
Yay! One of those tournaments you'll see and be able to watch is the IEM Sydney event starting next week, Tuesday on mixer.com/ESL_CSGO. No colon, as you pointed out. As we are an esports show, and we are, for legit, we are super excited about this and all the incoming content we now get to show off on the platform. So be sure to show your support and follow the channels to know when they're live.
It's true. Let's talk about more live things. This time, Smite. Now, most of the Smite teams have now been qualified for upcoming events, and the first one on the docket is the Smite Masters 2018 event occurring on Wednesday, May 9th through Sunday, May 13th, which might be the time when my voice returns.
Oh, snap.
The best Smite teams in the world will be converging for a finals event to wrap up the spring season. Of course, you can catch all the action on the Smite channel here at mixer.com/Smite game, and we'll be right here to preview and recap the event for your information.
And let's talk about Madden. Finally, we have come to the conclusion of the Madden Ultimate League, and we have arrived at the finals. Both the Legend and Elite playoffs were last weekend, and it concludes with the championships this Saturday for a fight over $500,000. Tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Time or 12 p.m. Pacific on Mixer.com/Madden this Saturday to see who will be the player to take home the grand prize and all that moolah. If you're looking at if you're looking to secure game codes for Madden 18 GOAT GOAT edition, then you're in luck. Tune into Mixer's Level Up Cast tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Pacific for a chance to win the game for you and a friend.
It's true. And we'll be right here each and every Thursday. This place at this time. 3 p.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. Eastern, because it should be Pacific and then Eastern. On this channel. Which channel is it, Robey?
It's mixer.com/thisweekinesports.
It's true, and you can also watch our past episodes right below on our channel page. Follow us on Twitter @WatchMixer. Of course, if you want to see us on the console, just head on over to the Mixer tab and swipe down. Toggle, doesn't matter. At any rate, follow them on Twitter @WatchMixer for updates on the show and to know what's happening in the wide world of esports.
Also, tune in to Esports Weekend on Mixer this weekend starting at 9 a.m. Pacific Time this Saturday with the Paladins console series, which is actually a really good series.
Super good.
We'll also have the Smite Minor League and the finals for Madden Ultimate League, which we talked about earlier.
It's true.
So on Sunday, we once again showcase the North American Region Tournament for the Paladin console series and more Smite Minor League.
It's true. And finally, do not forget, if you want to, though they're both on vacation this week.
I was there.
He was there.
I was there.
I was sick. Otherwise, I would have been there too.
So
well, anyway, there's that. So watch that show.
Watch the sister show, Tips and Tricks, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific on Mixer.com/Tips and Tricks.
And guys, a huge thank you for watching. Huge thank you to Slasher. Follow our channel. And a big thank you to this guy to my right as we look at the standings here. Robey, you are a gentleman and a scholar. God loves you, and so do I. And let's look at who we have a 4-way tie for the top answerers.
Oh, wow. So congratulations. You got more answers than we did on our own show. Right.
You know, why split hairs? But well done, Turn Up the Gamer. Great name. These names are just fire. Speaking of, Fire Dragon Flint, Official Orphan, which is good to have the official one, and Rob McCool. And listen, Mr. the Caesar,
Yeah.
you know what? You're coming in at number 5,
Yeah.
and that's okay. That's okie dokie. And we appreciate your votes. We appreciate your trivia knowledge, and we appreciate you.
That was I can't even add to that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Follow the channel. There's a button. Follow the channel so you get a notification when we go live next week, and stick around while we host one of the streamers here on Mixer.
Oh, it's true.
On Mixer, we're gonna host
on
them.
the Mixers.
On Host 'em
Yeah,
Mixer.
we
Anyway,
host 'em.
thanks guys, and thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here.
I will.
Just
Bye.
so much love. And
Peace.
to you. Bye.
Love.